What's one piece of advice or some sort of gem you can give to that young person who's trying to follow your path?
Yo, and again, it might sound cliche, but the best advice you are always going to hear in this world, I kid you not. Maybe you might not realize it now, but eventually in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, you're gonna be like, yeah, be you.
Right there, it would have been a nice time for the drop right here.
We can do this here, watch me rock the flow. Killing it a must, never option, no.
Spent guys at the crab table, still ain't signed to a rap label. DVD when I ain't have cable. I got balls, he ain't rap able. A 6D for me is man fatal. Can't see me like a bad angle.
Absolutely, ain't going nowhere. We will be forever and ever and ever.
Peace, beautiful family. This is Dr. Walter Hidalgo, and this is the Know Thyself podcast. The Know Thyself podcast. Nah, scratch that. We a show now. Pod thing is dead. Like, everybody got a pod. This is a show. This is info. This is food for your soul. Right? The Know Thyself show utilizes the metaphor of the shelf in order to extrapolate the self. And the way we do that is we invite guests to share something about themselves. And it's like 90 something degrees out here in New York City, so we glistening and shining right now in all aspects. Wow. Spiritually, hotness, and it's just summertime in New York City. So I want to first of all give a shout out to a couple of people. I want to give a shout out to Steve and his 2020 visions. Check out his gear, his merch. Check out Remy's Pink Portal with her late night clothing for women. Also, we're about to celebrate 50 years. By the time this gets out, it'll be 51, possibly, depending on the chronology. But hip hop will be 50. Yeah. So check out my book, Beyond the Four Walls, The Rising Ministry and Spirituality of Hip Hop. And you can go check that out at www.knowthatshelf.tv, in addition to all the amazing things that my brother is doing to the right of me, and we'll get to that momentarily. The other thing we always do is I like to give a shout out to a group of individuals, and today I want to give a big shout out to all of my Dominicanos. I want to give a big shout out to all my Uptown family. Shout out to Wash Heights, shout out to Inwood, all that beautiful stuff. We're super grateful. I want to give a shout out to all my lyrical monsters, all my MCs.
Peace.
I want to give a big shout out to all my hustlers. Right? With Jay-Z, I'll sell water to a well. This is what we, right? This is what we do. Because I got right here somebody that I admire, that I respect, that I'm so proud of. And it's like coming back with a reunion with family. I got right here with me none other than hip-hop's own Charlie Cruz.
My brother. Peace. Finally.
I know, right? Long overdue. But, in the theology world, we call it the Kairos moment. That's God's time.
Word.
Not chronology, where it's just linear time, human time.
Everything just aligned.
Everything right always time. Works. This is another segment of what we like to call Shelf Talk, where I am going to provide you all with recommendations on books, people, quotes, classes that I recommend coming out of my shelf. Today, I want to read an excerpt from a book that I recommend out of my shelf, and it reads as such. Despite the capitalistic, misogynistic, and materialistic infusion that hip-hop music sometimes produces by way of 4-minute music videos and multi-million-dollar radio stations, hip-hop continues to inspire millions. Unlike some critics who interpret hip-hop as being altogether evil, I, on the other hand, view hip-hop as a genre of music and a culture that creates a platform for anyone, no matter the age, sex, race, class, or creed of the individual to express themselves in light of their own social reality. It is an art form that can be used as a medium to create a public discourse that spreads social political awareness, community activism, and in many instances helps to generate a more meaningful relationship with God based on this call towards social action. My brothers and sisters, I am recommending today out of my shelf my book, Beyond the Four Walls, The Rising Ministry and Spirituality of Hip Hop. If you're a teacher, educator, parent, a religious ed teacher who wants to understand the social, historical, spiritual connections that hip hop has all over the world, I recommend this book. It's been used in classrooms, in religious ed courses, in master's degrees, for doctoral dissertations. So with hip hop turning 50, if you want to know what is higher infinite power healing our people, hip hop, check out Beyond the Four Walls, The Rising Ministry and Spirituality of Hip Hop. Now that's what's coming out of my shelf. As we always do in the Know That Show podcast is we ask folks to step into, you ever seen that movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures?
Yeah, vaguely. I remember it. I remember it, but vaguely remember the movie actually. But I remember coming out and everything. My pops was like watching it. Like
your pops is watching it.
I mean, my pops get comfortable in the chair back in the days when he got home from work, and it was like whatever was on. It was like he wasn't straight to Channel 41 and Channel 47. He was more like a surfing guy. And you'll run into a Chuck Norris movie and just sit there watching Delta Force, and I'll join him. Like that's pretty much how I seen most of like Schwarzenegger, Stallone, my pops. Like he'll be sitting there and I'd be like, what you watching?
That's lit. That's lit.
Like, you know?
So with that being said, we know the gist of the movie is they go into this elevator that goes back in time.
Right. It's like a phone booth.
Yeah, it's the phone booth.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a phone booth.
If we were, you and I, to go into this phone booth and go back into a young Earth Charlie, I'm talking about kid years, what do we see, what do we hear, what do we smell? Because you're originally from
Washington Heights.
Wash Heights, stand up. And we
Born and raised.
Talk to us about growing up in the Heights. Because I don't think people know.
I actually, to be real with you, I like most of the music that I have been like doing, like especially with the vintage tapes. Like I have a record called 1982.
That's when I was born.
Me too.
That's how we, okay.
Boom, 1982, and it's just basically like speaking from almost like my father's perspective. Because I was just born, so I really, boom, just seeing it, but actually seeing it from my pops. Like breathe the smoke in, my eyes focus, so they approaching. You got to know how to move in a room that's full of vultures. Like that's how my pops came into this country, and it was like you got to know how to move in a room that's full of vultures. Type.
Yes.
Feel me? So and then fast forward, I did another track on Part Dos called 87 Cutlass. My pops used to have an 87 Cutlass Supreme back in the days. And I remember being like, I could tell you that the smell from that damn tag, the little Christmas tree looking thing, it was green, so it had like this forest type of smell in the car. It was always clean, had like the Fabuloso feel, like he
true OG with it. Yeah, like
I could tell you that. Like I smell that. I smell the old Haraka, like. People was like, oh my god, like this weed was just, it just smelled disgusting almost, but it was so good. But like for the other cats and all that, and me just in the seat, smelling it, driving around with my head out, watching the neighborhood, it was like Woolworth and Dykeman. It was just a lot of people walking around. It was just like old school Adidas, like Nikes, everybody. Like I was on my Sonic and all my other stuff, like Sega Genesis, Nintendo.
I was just telling my daughter about Sega Genesis. That's why I named Genesis. Just.
But I was getting most of that was like my mom's and my pops. Yeah. Like whenever I got those games, it was because I had to pull out some good grades in school.
Facts.
I wasn't just getting that stuff. It was like, yo,
you had to show and prove.
Let me see what you working on. So
Yeah.
That's a good time.
And talk about like the influence, the Dominican influence of New York, yo. Like what contributions? Because I think we got to give flowers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because I think people don't know.
I give flowers, a lot of flowers, to my mother, and it's like just the dynamic of mother and what she displayed to me and my 2 brothers and 2 sisters. It was just like, I can tell you right now, born, all of us raised academically, like education. I mean, I'm probably me and my other brother are probably the only ones that didn't go to college, but my sisters, college graduates, master degrees. My brother's a freaking whiz. He was like political science, things like that. But my brother is my introduction to hip hop.
Great segue, because we just said hip hop is turning 50.
Facts.
50 years of this culture.
Man.
What does that mean to you as somebody who's in the culture?
It just feels timeless. Like really, really timeless, because as much as it's evolving into something else, it still has the root and the 5 elements, like breakdancing, DJing, rap, MCing, like except it just the graffiti, like the style. It's still there. It's just evolving, but it's still incorporated. But growing up in the time, like it's 50 years, man. The first introduction to hip hop I had was '93 till infinity. Like like I heard records like Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, but the feeling that '93 till infinity gave me was my real introduction. Like I love this. Like this beat is ridiculous. These guys are just rapping off their mind, like going nuts. And my brother was that introduction, because he had like this booklet of like the CD case. It was like 4 on each side, and he had over 300 CDs of just nothing but hip hop. I'm talking about like Common, Mos, Kweli, Polyrhythmatics, Jay-Z, Nas, Cool G Rap, De La Soul, like Souls of Mischiefs, like Pharoah Monch. It was endless. Just the Das Effect, like Lords of the Underground, like Rakim, Big Daddy, KRS, bro. That booklet was like, in a way, in a positive way, it was like I opened up Pandora's box.
The hip hop Bible. You know what I mean?
And it literally just brought me in there. Like it sucked me into that, and I was basically because my brother was away in school a lot. Like I'm telling you, the whiz. That's my dog. I love him. He was like, he got taken out of PS 152 because he took a test. Ended up in a smart ass school. Wow. He went to my hall. And after that, it was just endless. But he every weekend or every other weekend, he'll pull up to the crib and stay for. He'll pull up Friday, leave Sunday. He'll bring that book with him. And I kid you not, I was stealing at least 3 to 4 CDs every time. When he came, it was like Nas, De La, Busta, Redman. He won't notice. Then another week, put him back in, get some other joints. More joints. Then at some point, he just called me. He was like, yo, bro, where's my One Day It All Makes Sense comment? And I was literally bumping it. I was literally bumping it. It's not like I could put my phone on hold. We had the joint, the every number you gotta. So I couldn't hide it. It was playing in the background. So it was like, yo, bro, don't scratch my CD. You already scratched the Nas joint. I was like, I can't help it, bro.
and I see this is the thing, and I want to know from you, right? Because you mentioned the 5 elements. You dabbed into and crafted the art of emceeing.
Right.
What's an MC? I always ask my MCs, what is it?
An MC to me is literally who can give you content. content. He can give you, he can freestyle, he can give you that braggadocious, but when it's time to get serious, he can really give you a conceptual, like, he can give you politics, he can give you women, he can give you family, he can give you friends, he can give you betrayal, love, mistrust, betrayal. Like, if you can do all of that and make people resonate with your words and like, yo, bro, like, that was beautiful. Like, you bring tears to their eyes, you bring that feeling in their arms. That's emceeing. Like, that's, like, to me, that's just, like, that's an MC. This is a rapper. This is an MC. Like, yo, rap. Like, it's, and I always looked at that as, like, yo. And an MC, of course, writes his own stuff. An MC always writes his own stuff. That's kind of like top 5 in MCing. Like, know how to rock a crowd, know how to, like, crowd participation, know how to give you concepts, know how to freestyle, know how to be witty, classy, funny, like, and that's something that I've always looked at, like, always looked at, and a lot of people have always told me, like, yo, you're able to do, like, commercial music. I can make commercial music.
Facts, yes.
I am an artist. Before hip-hop, I am an artist. Yes. I can give you a Spanish record, I can give you an R&B, I can give you hip-hop, a salsa, merengue, bachata. Like, but my passion is that hip-hop.
That's
that
right.
Lyricism, that wittiness, that flowing. My thing is flowing. I don't stomp.
You flow.
I flow. I always tell an MC that too. Like, yo, don't march on it.
Facts.
Swim on it, to the point that you could backstroke on the beat and just wild out.
And this is beautiful because I feel the energy, the passion behind you, because this is something you love.
Yeah.
What, all these years, where's the motivation? Who or what motivates you to do this? Oh, okay. So, as we always do in the Know That Show podcast, we invite guests to share something that comes from their shelf. Here we go.
Definitely. This is my mom's and my pops. It was basically like my kindergarten graduation. And it was like, not my first grade graduation. Yeah, first grade. And it's just that feeling that picture gave. Like, my parents are not together now, but they were married for 28 years. Like raised my brothers and sisters accordingly and to perfection, to honestly, to me. Like, family, kids, loving job, cars, whatever. They happy, they travel the world and everything. So I feel like they did a great job with me, with them, and every time, every opportunity that I get to go to the studio to record, or if I'm feeling nervous for a show, I'm always nervous at a show. I always have butterflies. Any MC that tells you that doesn't have
that's a fact. Or just public speaking.
You can have done this 100, 200, 500 stages, 500 shows, 500 freestyles, and you always get that butterflies in your stomach before you go on. But the minute you touch that microphone, the minute you see that on air, the minute they tell you, yo, kick that.
It's a light switch. It's just
it's not even like they flew away. They just evaporate, like instant.
Yeah.
Like, the minute you hear that beat, the minute you grab that mic, the minute you go, check. That's like my thing. Like, but I've gotten to the point now that I try to incorporate something different at a show. Yeah. Like, I might come from the bar rapping with the mic, or I might do some Ultimate Warrior and run to the stage. Yeah. Like, get hype, jump, whatever. But it's always that feeling that you get, and it resonates with that picture.
I wanna go back and Charlie, let me know if I ever stepping on your toes by saying this, because, and I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, but I think this is so important what he said, because in our communities we talk a lot about healing and trauma. This is super facts. And the fact that despite the differences and the derailing of your parents, you still give flowers. You still give that respect and admiration. You could have been bitter. I'm sure there's things we don't know the whole story.
No, of course.
But the fact that you still do that, because I was just listening to somebody saying that we can't get overly upset of our parents. They were once kids too, because all adults are grown kids.
Right.
This is a fact.
Yeah.
So I want to, like, your father now, like you're a hip hop dad.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Me too.
A girl
right?
dad.
Yeah. Shout out to Jen. She's right here taking a nap. You know what I mean?
And that gives you a new perspective in not just hip hop, but life in general.
Yes.
It's really taught me to, like, I don't even want to sound cliche, but to be honest with you, it's made me look at women a lot different.
Yo.
A lot different.
Yo.
Like,
speak
I've always
on it. You said some real stuff.
Nah,
please.
like, it's like even if I had a son, I would. Yeah, that's my man's. Like, I love him. That's my blood. That's my offspring. That is my future. That's gonna be my guy. But when you have a daughter, creator of life, you're almost walking on eggshells, trying not to drop. When you know your kids eventually grow up, go off to school, have friends,
and navigate what we went through in a different way.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same though.
Different generation,
right?
different times, but it's the same thing, because I know of 1 to 100 times your parents came at you on some, don't do that. Yeah. And then later when you do it and you go to that party, something pops off.
Yeah.
And I always thought there was like witches, or you'd be like, are you magical, mom? Like, every single time she would be like, don't go. I'm gonna let you go, but don't go. She's like, and I'm like, Ma, it's gonna be all good. It's gonna be all good. Run into a shootout, something like that.
Yes.
And it's like, yo, like, I learned that the hard way in my late 20s. Anytime my mother would be like, hey, I know you're a grown man and all that, but that looks kind of suspect. Be careful and all that. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go home, Mom.
Yeah.
You have a good night.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, but back to that is like my whole perspective, my whole view on women is way higher than what I used to think before. Like, yeah, I respected them. I love them. Of course, I love my ladies. I love my women. But now it's like, I have one that I want to mold into a queen.
Yeah.
She's a little princess right now. It's like, this little girl has me wrapped around her fingers.
Don't they?
And it's like, even though I'm going through my thing right now with the mother of my child, whatever it is, our little differences, anytime I have that connection with my daughter, it's like, yo, do you realize that there is nothing else in this world going on right now at this moment? Just you. Like, nothing exists. That feeling is almost exhilarating yet scary at the same time, because we all don't want nothing to happen to our kids, but at the same time we can't control it. Right.
And that's the thing, because it's like
parents will try to control you. Like, they don't do this, don't do that. We do it. We end up doing it. We learned the hard way. Oh, this shit hurt. Oh, I got hurt. Oh, I got scraped. Oh, I failed. Oh, I lost my job. Oh, I got suspended. Those are lessons that you learn throughout life. But I'm not telling anybody to hey, defy your parents. Don't that. But at some point, they right. You gonna see that.
And I think this is important now. We're going like 360 with it, right? Mm-hmm. So now I'm gonna ask you, MC, father, hustler, entrepreneur, someone that, I seen you, God, through COVID. Like, you never stopped, and that's why I admired about a lot of people.
And I had COVID. And I had COVID.
Yeah.
I did my 14 quarantine. But in that 14-day quarantine, I was just dropping it down.
Yo,
just
never
recording.
stopped.
I was just recording.
So,
all day.
with that being said, what's one piece of advice or some sort of gem you can give to that young person who's trying to follow your path?
Yo, and again, it might sound cliche, but the best advice you are always going to hear in this world, I kid you not. Maybe you might not realize it now, but eventually in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, you're going to be like, yeah, be you. Be you. My father has told me that since a kid. My brothers, my sisters, I have this saying, it's okay. It's okay to be that red dot in a white assembly line. I have no problem being that red dot in that assembly line.
Yeah.
And you can spot me. You can see me. Yeah, let me stand out.
Yeah.
That's not my Leo talking. That's not my.
Shout out to the Leos.
You know, it's not my zodiac. That's just plain old me. I'm a charismatic. I'm a funny. I'm cool. Like, I love my hip hop. I love rapping with my brothers and my sisters. Like, I'm not on some budget. You want to work? Let's work, bro. Like, let's get this something, because if that hits, you make it, I'm making.
Word, exactly.
That's how it works.
And given that, Charlie, where can people find you? Give us all your contact, what you're working on, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. You can Google I Am Cruz all together. IAMCRUZ all together. I Am Cruz. I'm gonna be that Google pops up. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Tidal. I'm on Apple, all major platforms. I have a few things on my IG. I Am Cruz NYC. That's my IG. Click that link. I got interviews. I got music videos. I just recently did a music video to one of my songs called Potential off
Fire.
The vintage tape part dos. Shout outs to Malala's child, Telly Floyd. And what I got working on right now, I got 2 mixtapes. Well, actually 1 mixtape with my brother DJ Tiny Tim.
Shout out.
We took it back to the DJ Clue Fabulous days. Just basically, he's the DJ, I'm the rapper on different type of beats. He talks his ish, I talk my ish on the beats. And now we got we had one called Subway Series, where he's a Yankee fan and I'm a Mets fan. I'm a diehard Mets fan. I don't play stuff. So you can see the cover. Mets, Yankees, that was Subway Series Part 1. Now we got Part 2 coming out, Game 2 coming out already. The beats on that, like, it's classic. Like, the minute you hear those beats, you're gonna be like, oh my god, he went on that. Okay, I need to hear this.
Wow.
That was the whole point of that tape. I wanted, the minute you hear the beat, you're gonna be like, yo, you flow to that? Yeah, let me hear this. Like, I gotta hear this. So that tape, shout out to DJ Tiny Tim. Then I got another tape with my man emcee Manifest, just Fest, called Spit That Ish and See What Happens. We basically got in the studio, we rapped and saw what happened, and we created a beautiful tape where it's being mixed and mastered. Now we're about to do a music video, 90 Degrees, featuring Telly Floyd and DJ Basin. Shout out to DJ Basin out in Brazil. When he came out here, he just dropped a gem for me and Fest, and I wrote that.
Shout out to Brazil, obrigado to all you.
DJ Basin, like, I hope you come back to New York for real. He dropped a beat and I wrote a verse in like 20 minutes, and I told my man Fest, yo,
that's hip hop.
That's my song. Yo, let's rock.
Come on.
Like, it just came. Like, I was like, yeah, that's the beat. Straight out the motherfucking kitchen, whipping this up. Got dreams. I'm painting pictures. Yeah, I went wild.
Don't give him too much.
Like, and then after that, in the fall, I got the vintage tape Part 3. Like, that's the trilogy. That's the end. That's the culmination of the vintage tapes. Because after that is Vintage Moments. That's my LP. That's my vinyl. That's gonna be on vinyls. I'm gonna have cassettes for that.
Yo,
I'm gonna have
going
CDs,
back, yes.
like special edition joints.
Oh,
like,
that's lit.
I'm working
yes.
on getting a contract with that, like a little distribution deal where I could press,
Oh.
you know, collectors of items. Anybody who spins or DJs, they can buy one and buy
That's
the other one to
dope.
scratch.
That's dope.
Like really catering to the culture.
Wow.
With vintage
Wow.
moments,
Yeah.
that's what I call
Yes.
it. And then that whole album, like I said about emceeing, is very conceptual. Like I'm talking about family, I'm talking about love, I'm talking about kids, I'm talking about my brother, I'm talking about hip hop. I'm little braggadocious on a few tracks, you know, displaying lyrical whatever, you know. But there's a lot of work coming.
Word.
It's a lot of work coming. Shout outs to all the producers.
Yes.
Brown Water Music, of course.
Yes.
Shout out my man Bar Keith, my man E Plus, Tone Flex, the whole Elwood, the whole Sickles, the whole Wash Heights, the whole Dykeman. Yeah, a lot of work coming. Yep.
We here. We ain't going nowhere, yo.
And my slogan is Cruz with me. You
Yeah.
already know. So
Yo.
cruise out with me. Come on.
Listen, Nori from the Drink Champs, shout out.
Peace,
He
peace.
always says, we got to give flowers to people while they're still alive.
Yeah, man.
My brother Charlie, I want to give you your flowers, your roses, your dandelions, your sunflowers, your cannabis plants, everything, because I'm proud of you, man. This is the man you are, your grind, your ambition. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you.
And it grows in.
You're ready. Yeah, it keeps going. As we always do in the Know That Shelf, we end with a quote. How fitting. And this comes to us from Adu Makar.
Peace.
And it reads as such. Talented people hit targets no one else can hit. Ambitious people aim to hit targets no one else can see. Yo.
Now that was hard.
Peace, family.
Peace. That
Ah.
was hard. Love.
We out.
Love.
That's it.
That was hard. That was hard.